Because we don't have
I'll
one.
make a motion to accept the minutes of June 1st.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And I'll make a motion we accept the tax roll corrections.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass the tax roll corrections. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I have, the bank's wanting all kinds of stuff to get Mary off and get Vanessa on. So basically, I've got the information together. I typed up letters for each bank, that I need you as chairman to sign, Todd. Get that all done.
Do we
and I'll-
need a motion to get that done?
I make a motion that we add Vanessa Cornwell to our bank accounts at Equity, SJM Bank of Kansas, and Prairie Bank. Is that the other one? Yep, Prairie Bank.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we need a motion to take Mary off the account?
Probably.
I make a motion that we take Mary Gatton off of our signature for our bank accounts at SJM Bank of Kansas, Equity Bank, and Prairie Bank of Kansas.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Are these the same, or
Yes.
do I need to sign all?
Yes, sign all three of them because they have to go to each bank. Each bank
On
gets
this,
a letter.
the cemetery,
Oh.
whether they could be a taxing unit or not. Did you find anything about that?
No, I thought I was waiting on some information from you.
No, it was two different things.
Oh,
One is the stone,
right.
or, yeah, and the other was about Neola, where they could be a township cemetery.
Find out.
Okay.
Do we not have an agenda because we haven't go into
Because we
that?
have
there's no-
nobody on it.
There's some.
Here's your survey and your invoice.
It's,
Did you read your email yesterday?
He does not read my
I-
emails.
No, I didn't.
I was gonna print it off, but I thought I'd say it.
Survey. What was it?
That looked okay?
Yeah.
Did you go out there at all? To
No,
the-
it was,
There's some survey stakes out there.
no, that's fine.
This
Say didn't drive on dirt roads when they're
Only to get,
Only your road. Basically just, the road out to it and then the tract around it. 11.77 acres. He's got a nice big long description for Ike. This is on that Fisher Pit out west of town. We got the survey back, so
Okay.
I'll make contact with that gentleman that we're buying it from. Let him know that we have the survey. I'll call Randy and get this on a, did you happen to get this on an email from Randy?
No, that came by mail.
Okay. I'll call Randy and get a PDF of this. So I can email it over to that guy.
Okay.
Make sure he's cool with it. When we agreed on price, we were thinking somewhere around 11 to 12 acres and it came out at 11.7, so I think
Shouldn't have a problem.
shouldn't have any qualms with the price. And then Mike, I'll, I guess, see if there's any specifics he wants. I believe he closed on the ground June 1st, so he does own it now.
Okay.
I'll figure out any specifics that he would want in the sales contract, but
I can do a deed.
you needed this to proceed forward, so.
Yep.
That's cheap too, that's half. what
yeah, I
thought
was
it gonna be.
surprised, yeah.
I didn't see it.
1380. 1380.
I mean, it is a small tract, I guess, but
Yeah,
there's still a bunch of work.
you got out there pretty quick.
Do we
Yeah.
need a motion to pay this? Is over 30, yeah. I'll make a motion, we pay the invoice of $1,380 to Central Kansas Surveying and Mapping.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. It brought up last week about that, no work or what?
No work county?
Yeah,
What's that?
we decided we need.
Oh, you were here.
Yeah,
How are you feeling?
I had
Okay.
the COVID.
Do you know Corey got it too?
Really? It was all around the Jubilee.
Yes.
Mike, Stafford County is designated a no-work county.
Oh, what?
A no-work county by social services or whatever. Are they the ones that make the determination, or is it, do you know anything?
No, but I would assume if they're making that call, I mean, whatever criteria they have, it's their call.
Because it's based on employment and et cetera, et cetera. So
What does that mean?
It means they can apply for assistance without going out and applying for, say,
Jobs.
3
Yeah.
jobs.
Some of the counties, you have to apply for 3 jobs a month,
Yeah.
and we're just, you apply, you get the assistance, you never have to look for a job. We're wondering how we could get that changed.
But there are
Is
several
there a
counties
possible-
that are that way.
Is it like based on how many employers there are in your county or?
I don't know what their criteria is. I mean, that'd be a state. But, I mean, I can call them and find out what their
Wouldn't that be social services, or whatever their title is now?
DCF.
Yep.
So,
Stafford County, our unemployment should be 0,
Yeah, or next to 0.
because, I mean, there's a lot of people that are looking for people. I mean, everybody wants a job, got a job.
Okay, the last thing I have is the sheriff, and he's gone. Clayton
what's here?
is doing this course, I guess you could call it. And that came to my attention, I saw that, and I thought, well, if we're doing that for citizens around here, I think that would be of benefit to county employees. Now, that one is on a Saturday. Rob and I kind of talked about maybe doing a separate one just for county employees, and I don't know, we might even have to do 2 to break it up to where employees could attend, but maybe a work day would be easier to get them to attend it. But I definitely don't think it would hurt anything. We kind of started on a plan at one time, and then it kind of fizzled out, and so I think if one of our officers is doing that, we ought to take advantage of it.
Yeah. I guess we can have Rob talk to Clayton and see if he'd be
Okay.
willing to do that.
Okay, well, I just wanted to put that in front of you guys, see what you thought, if you would be okay if we went ahead and scheduled something.
I think it's an excellent idea.
Okay,
It doesn't hurt to be informed.
no,
Avoid, deny, defend.
okay. And that is all I have.
And the courthouse is how's that work with it being a federal building? It's no gun zone.
We kind of talked about that, we,
But it's
Yeah,
not
Mike-
federal, it's a
Our-
state.
Our
It's
state building,
state.
that's what
Yeah.
I meant, but, so what's the rule on that? I mean,
actually, he has told me before, anybody that has a concealed carry that wants to have a gun could, he's fine with that, but that, Mike, I'll let you address that question.
We don't have anything else for a little bit? We'll recess for a little bit. So what do you think of that grader?
Pretty nice unit. I mean, it's bigger than what we've got, but that's
I mean, if
not
it,
necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, if it was a buy, if we come out of buy, I imagine it'll probably go quite a bit more expensive, but if it came from, if it was a good buy, I mean, would you be interested in buying it?
Well, I think it gotta be a fool not to.
Okay. Did you get set up where you could bid?
Yes.
I mean, I think we need to start watching the internet for dump trucks and for graders. You know, if we can get good buys on them.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice, eventually someday we can go back to buying new stuff, but man, the way stuff is right now.
Oh, I know.
So.
I thought that it was rare that it stood out to me that it was only 2 years old, and 750 hours. You know, you just don't see those on.
No, and I asked
You
him.
hardly ever see them on Purple Wave.
Yeah, and I asked that guy about that, and he said that they just,
Yeah, they buy-
evidently the representative went in and talked to them, and they wanted to try this and see.
Yeah,
And this may be a seller's market right now. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I talked to Jay, which I think I sent you that deal.
yeah, I saw that.
I didn't realize the new grader was that high. I
They're
was
just like
thinking
everything else. I mean,
260, 275, 280.
Well, they were,
not
but
not
they're
400.
over, yeah, there's,
Well, he said there's 4 on Machinery Trader for an average ask of 400 right now, like it. I just don't.
I mean, do we have a high hour grader that we can get rid of?
oh, yeah. We got one that's, if it's not 20 years old, it's right at it.
Okay. And so if you bought this one, then we'd probably just turn around and sell that one?
Because it's, first of all, we have an issue with parts. We have an issue every time we call down there.
Is that Komatsu? Yeah.
Is that the only Komatsu?
No, we have
You have
two.
two?
And they're about 2 years apart, so I mean.
Well,
But yeah, this whole equipment, well, the whole price of everything is just exploded on everybody, and I mean, I don't know how anybody's gonna deal with it very well. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
So I pondered how to do my budget.
Yeah.
Without you taking a red pencil and just saying no.
yeah, I just don't see any other way around it. I think if we can find 2-year-old stuff with low hours or low miles,
Yeah.
we have, I mean, we're doing ourselves a disservice not to
Oh,
consider them.
yeah,
I
we
think.
can't, I know one thing, we can't sit still.
No.
Not do anything.
Because then you start going backwards, and then
Yes.
your trade-ins
And
are
then-
worth less money, and you.
And it
But
took
it's-
a long time to get where we're at, but it doesn't take very long to go backwards.
Yeah.
And that's a fight that just,
I mean, I'm not a grader expert, so, I mean, I looked at the pictures in the video, I didn't see anything that glared obviously wrong.
no. I don't.
Did you think as far as operator amenities and specifications of the grader that it would be, you know, kosher for us as far
Oh,
as?
yeah, the
joystick
thing is,
control
it's bigger unit than what
is
you should
bigger.
buy, but you can, there's still things you can do with it. I mean, you can go ditch
That's
with
one
it.
question I
It's
did
all-wheel
ask Jay.
drive.
That would be nice in the sand for,
Yeah,
That's one question I did ask Jay, if it was too big, if he thought it was too big for us. And
I think.
I got the typical, bigger's always better. Which I don't know that that's 100%
Yeah.
right all the time, but.
I think that front wheel assist would be nice.
That's all the time it is with me, yes.
So do you have a magic number in your head? Okay, because I think you're down to like the last hour bid. and I've
Whatever
already
it is,
put your
2
bid.
minutes.
Yeah, it was, when I walked in,
No.
it was at 150.
It's at 150.15 right now.
Yeah.
So did you just put in your high bid deal?
Well, that's what I think we ought to do, is figure out a number that we want to give it for it, and
Put it in?
put in a high bid, and it will bid for you up to that number. Like right now, it's at
Oh, yeah.
150.15, say we bid 275 or 250,
Yeah.
it will bid 151, or it'll bid 152.
Yeah,
And then if somebody outbids you, then it'll bid 152.5.
it goes up in 1,000 increments.
Yeah, I guess it's 1,000 now, but
But then at some point, does it ever go higher than 1,000 then?
no.
No.
I
I don't think so. I think 1,000's as high as it goes.
The 4-wheel drive tractor I bought in there, I put in high bid, and then it ended up bringing 10,000 less. So I mean, I was worried about it just going instantly in my high bid,
Yeah,
but it just increments it up.
I was thinking 250 would be a great deal, but 275 may not be that bad a deal either.
I don't know,
275 would be a deal.
Well, you're
Jay
not
thought
gonna
that-
get a-
Jay-
you're not gonna get a new one for that.
I
Jay
think
said
would
that
be
he thought that
100,000
it should
Oh,
sell,
yeah.
that
That's
it
what we paid for.
will
Jay's.
/ should
Yeah.
sell in the mid 300s, so. I mean, I don't know that we need to go crazy, but
Yeah, and I mean, it's probably a pipe dream. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and you guys know that. Some dealer's probably gonna buy it.
our dealer has the bid right now.
Yes. Because there's a couple from Kansas doing
Probably Jay's bidding on it since you pointed at that.
it. Well, no, I'm
That happened to me one
sure,
time.
I'm sure Foley has somebody that does that, that's such a huge company. So, because who knows, they get customers looking for certain things all the time. And, I guarantee you a contractor would eyeball it.
I mean, if you wanna, you know what your budget is,
So
you know
you're
what it's
saying
worth.
the new one is 412?
He said over, average price ask right now is over 400. I don't know what, like if you ordered one through CAT, whether it be under 400 or not. What's,
I mean, because
What's
it
your
does,
budget
it
look
does
like?
have a ripper.
yeah, as far as being able to pay for it this year?
I think we have a little more, maybe Lisa can tell me what ahead of her. Special machine.
Yeah,
I thought it
special
was
machine.
Just a hair over 3. It may be just a hair under 3.
I think 275. He's,
But right now, your
This ends
your
today.
20-year-old grader,
Yeah, like an hour.
it ends in an hour. Your 20-year-old grader right now is worth 60, 70.
It could
80?
be, yeah, it's,
I mean, it's worth way more than
Than it
it was this
was.
time last year.
yeah, you're right.
It's a Komatsu. Enclosed cab.
Oh, yeah, closed
Heat,
cab.
air.
Yeah,
I mean,
all right, yes, Cindy.
I just sold
What
one
is
for
your
Chad that was in 1985 and
special
it brought
machine
like 30-some thousand. So we're gonna get some back,
Yeah.
I guess, off of our machine, but
Because I just asked her that the other day.
we could go 275 and then 4 minutes before the close, you could up it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you can always up it. I just didn't want him to have to go down to the last second,
No, I'd just put in your maximum bid, I mean.
and it is what it is. You know, a normal entity might go a little bit farther, but in this case, I think we just need a hard number and it is what it is. And
You just need to pick a number you'd be happy with, if it's 275 or 300 or
We have
250.
687.
That's probably pretty, I thought that's where we were at the other day.
Okay.
I mean, around that,
As-
I mean,
Yeah.
without,
You know, and you cut quite a bit out of your budget a year or two ago. And we understand, I mean, the county's got to keep some decent machines
Oh, yeah.
and stuff, so I mean, we'll probably look real hard at that this year as far as
Yeah.
increasing that budget.
But
Because once you get behind, you can't ever get caught up.
no. And believe me, I've run some things down there that were not much fun to run.
Yeah.
even if it's a good deal, do you think, I mean, I don't wanna buy it just because it's a good deal. You know, and do we need it? Because when we
need to
talked
update-
earlier, we
need
needed
to
to,
update graders and we need to update dump trucks.
okay. Those are our two immediate needs.
That,
This
and
dump
I
truck
gotta
and
find
grader.
some pickups, but I'm not gonna look for new
Yeah,
forward.
but it's, I mean, pickups are small,
Yeah, pickups are.
small potato compared to,
Yeah, compared to.
we can buy 10 pickups for what this
Yeah.
costs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because unfortunately, I'm gonna have 100,000 on that within 2 months.
yeah,
And it's only a 3-year-old pickup, so, but I mean, it's still runs good. I mean, just because you have 100,000 on it, just,
yeah.
but the other pickups we got down here.
Yeah. There's a certain point where it just starts costing you a lot of money to
Yeah.
keep them up.
Well, we got a couple demo 6.
Get rid of them a month before that starts happening.
So, Well, those are only worth so much a pound anyway, because they're straight, they're just a straight cab,
Yeah.
so,
So what do you think? You think,
275.
okay. So we need a motion to approve him up to 275.
Yep.
And then as far as max bidder, if you wanna sit there and watch it and bid as you go. You know, some guys don't trust the max bid because they think the eye in the sky brings you up to it. Which I've never seen that pattern. I mean, I've seen stuff sell for way less than a max bid. But everybody's different, so
Oh, yeah.
you can do it however you want.
I'd use max bid. And what is it, if there's a bid within the last minute or 2 minutes, then it extends to
It'll
like
extend to 4
5
minutes.
or 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes,
I just use the max bid deal.
yeah.
I'd hate for you to lose
So
internet
you say there's
connection.
another one coming up after this one?
Supposedly, there's another one coming up in a few weeks.
Well, it sounded like.
I would imagine it'll depend on whether this one sells good or not.
Well, it may be the same name county.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he said they were doing two, and then there's only one here, so.
Yeah.
When you said that.
I don't think they were gonna put
Didn't want-
$750,000 worth of graders on it, on one auction. They wanted to make sure.
And they bought 10 new ones?
12,
12?
Yeah.
I needed 10.
Yeah,
You know, last
Wonder what their mill
month,
levy is.
they had a little 100-horse John Deere front wheel assist tractor on the front lot, looked like brand new, and I stopped and looked at it and talked to Cody, and it was 2 years old, had 35 hours on it, and I said, what's that? And he goes, this state bought it, and it was an extra tractor. So it just sat there. 2 years later, they decided to trade it in,
Yeah,
well, that, and then some of them they do on lease.
you know.
there's an awful lot of equipment around there, around like that. My dad bought a generator in Iowa, and a state had bought it through a grant program. And it, 20 years old, didn't have any hours on it,
Well,
brand
and
new.
then we've got a light tower, and we've got a generator out there that.
That
as
don't
far as-
ever get any hours.
Yeah, that as far as I know, never really.
Yeah. But if we ever needed it, it'd be worth the money.
At some point, I mean, in a pipe dream, and this is not road department, this is courthouse, probably I'll look at a generator for doing the courthouse.
We have a generator back there, don't we?
No,
That's the
that's the sheriff's office.
That's for 911.
But I mean, most counties do,
Yeah.
and there's, it's.
Right now, we're kind of relying on the cities.
Yeah, and we're in a unique situation here, because we do
We
have.
probably have all the
city-
employees mad.
Huh?
Probably have all the employees mad.
Why?
If electricity goes out, you
We
guys
don't
wanna
go
shut the
home.
door and go home, or do you want the generator to fire up, so you gotta stay at work?
We don't go home, we sit there and we.
Vanessa wants to come to work, she just getting started. But I mean, it's just
Yeah,
stuff for thought,
yeah.
because we're getting ready to redo the mitigation thing again, we just did 2 years ago, so.
Can,
That thing
is that your plan? Or what-
No, it's just something to plan in your heads, so. In a perfect world,
Yeah.
and that's what emergency management becomes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Planning.
you go to what if, in the what if scenario,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so. But I know Pratt County has a great big old cat generator set down there, and they're in the same position we are, because Pratt actually has their own power plant.
How many KW would we be looking at to run that?
I have no idea.
I
At
wouldn't
least
think that,
100, wouldn't it?
I bet 10,000 watt would do the courthouse.
Really?
I mean, unless it was during the summer and you had the ACs on, because I mean, your AC and your water well is what draws, we're on city water.
So, well, the AC should draw a lot, and besides that, you would never want it to get hot in there because of all your electronics.
Yeah,
If it gets hot in there, they just start shutting down too, so.
yeah,
You have an enclosed building, basically.
yeah. But if you didn't have the AC on, I bet you for just running the computers and lights, stuff like that, I bet 10,000 watt would do it. Maybe that's something we ought to ask Kevin. Or Pardon?
You take the AC away, we will go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can put enough air in there.
50K at
Oh,
least,
no.
a minimum
It's
of
kind of like,
50.
it's kind of like staying in a, trying to stay in a tractor.
Yeah, because
without air
don't they
conditioning.
figure
You
it's
can't-
what, $2,500
You
for
can't
a big
open
house
enough,
and
you
everything?
can't get enough air in through
They're
that.
like a 2,500 square foot house.
So yeah, like, would you do a plan, like, only these, you would run half your registers and maybe half your computers, and,
So,
you know, just to keep functionality, but not draw to, I don't know how you would.
It
so
would
I
have to
I
be-
would imagine you would just plan on what you basically do every day, and then they usually add more on. Somebody that'll like, you know, somebody that does that kind of type of.
It would be a situation where we would lose power and the city's generator wouldn't run.
Okay, well, say tornado comes in. and
Yeah,
takes out that.
takes
So,
it out.
And that's where we would have
Yeah.
problems.
Mhm.
Would have to, well, let's see. We'd have to have an automatic, well, with the sheriff's department, if that generator kicks on, I'm sure it's got an automatic disconnect off the pole.
Yeah, it does. We got one down at the road department, so, because years ago, when the tornado in '07 came through, it became an issue about fuel. And they finally got Wayne Miller out of bed to fuel stuff up. But, we couldn't get any fuel in the shop because the power plant was down in certain areas of town didn't have power, we didn't have any power down there. Now that won't happen because we do have a backup generator down there to take.
How big is your backup generator down there?
27 KW, 27 or 20, somewhere down there.
Mhm.
Does it kick on and run on natural gas, or is it a diesel? Natural gas.
Yeah. In fact, it'll pull enough gas, they had to come down and do a bunch of,
Bigger regulators.
yeah, I've had to do a bunch of paperwork through Kansas Gas Service, I know that.
Does it kick on and exercise every once in a while?
It's supposed to kick on there, we had some issues with
Like
it, it
bi-monthly
wasn't working
or-
right, and it had a bad board in it,
I think the sheriff's does that too.
so
It
Hear
kicks
it
now,
on.
come on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it does that once a month, once a week.
Once a month, I
I'd say at
think.
least,
once a week.
Yeah.
They all-
Once a
Yeah.
week.
They all run
I
once
think
a
that's really important that you wanna make sure that they're kicking on and exercising.
Yeah, because actually the lights went off here, I don't know, 6 months ago, whatever it was,
Mhm.
when the big windstorm came. And ours didn't kick on. And so Kevin came down and started it, and that's when we found out we were having
Board
a
issue.
board issue, and they finally got that fixed. So now just gotta make sure it comes on, it's kind of runs when it's supposed to, for its test.
I make a motion that we approve Phil to bid on a 2020 Caterpillar motor grader up to $275,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Make sure you do the max bid option, not a hard bid.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a button there to click that says
It's been too long.
max bid, Big Iron will do the bidding for you,
Okay.
instead of, if you just put in 275 and hit click, it'll up us to 275. Which, I mean, we may not get it anyway,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't matter, but I've known people that have done that before.
Oh.
I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, okay.
Other than that, we're shut down for mowing and trying to get roads tore up over at Cena.
The road's bordered.
It's, if I'd have known it made it rain like this, we'd have done this a long time ago.
Oh, you were building the road when the
Yeah,
rain
we
started?
We were reshaping them because they were so flat, and so actually everything that we've done so far, I've been pleased with. Midwest and Leesburg and Southwest,
Mhm.
so.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank you, Phil. We're ready for you guys.
We just want to do introductions is all, so just wanted to bring her down and show her what you guys do here, and,
Don't ask me questions, I don't know anything.
You didn't tell her she had to stand in front of the camera and give a 5-minute?
Oh my gosh, no, please.
So your first day was Monday and
mm,
So are most of the, trainings that you do, are they just Zoom trainings, or will there be some?
Yesterday was online, I just received another one too, they says everything will be online. But
That's like with motor vehicle. Her KCTA trainings will be meetings, she will go and do those
In
in
person.
person. Mhm.
Okay.
In fact, there's some next week, but we decided it was a little too soon for her to jump in, so
Good.
hopefully this fall, because she would just really not know what's going on if she went now. And so we decided to have her wait till this fall and start her certification classes with the KCTA. So,
Sounds good. So like, you guys
she's
got
doing really
plans?
good.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
thank you.
So yeah, we have Clayton Grimmett. I don't know if you know him, but Bryce Carter.
Yep.
We're happy to have you.
Yep.
I'm happy to be here. I hope she stays with me for a very long time.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys.
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the tombstone. There's such conflicting, if you go onto Ancestry.com, you read one thing, you go to find a grave, you find another. I don't know where he's at. Somewhere between Leesburg and Taylor.
And the main deal is just the middle initial, right? There's a tombstone somewhere for the guy.
Apparently at one time, yeah.
Did you guys know we had a plane crash, or
Pardon me?
had a plane crash at the north end of the county yesterday?
I don't know.
Spray plane?
No. My wife called me, I was working on the combine, she goes, a glider just landed in the field behind the house. So I
A
drove-
glider?
A glider.
Really?
I drove down there, and there's a couple guys from West Virginia, and they were doing some gliding competition out of Yoder,
Oh, yeah.
where they fly big
Yeah.
deal, and he said, we got over here and lost lift.
Slid in.
Just landed it.
Yeah.
Here we are.
They act like it was no big deal, they called the guy, they said, our truck and trailer will be here in an hour, and we'll pull the wings off, and just set it in the trailer and go down the road.
Yeah.
So you have to follow the vultures. Just
Oh, yeah?
follow them.
Yeah, that's all on thermals, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting talking to him.
And it's quiet.
They said
It'd be
they-
kinda eerie.
They said they lose about 1,000 foot of altitude for every 2 miles that they're gliding, you know, if they can't get any thermals. So basically, if they're, if they're cruising at 6,000 feet, they can go about 10 miles. And he said when they were heading this way, they kept talking about do you want to recess or talk about this on camera?
Just,
Yeah, I
we
don't-
just will adjourn.
Yeah, I don't have anything
We'll-
else.
We'll adjourn.